everyone, Super-Shadix Boom here, and I'm really excited to finally be taking a look at Jakks Pacific Sonic the Hedgehog 2 4-inch movie figures. Before diving right into the figures, I just want to take some time to acknowledge the packaging as it's completely new. The back of each box has a bio for the characters. Something I find pretty neat is that there's a picture of the figure posed up instead of them just idling. The plastic bubble with the spines is pretty epic, and in case y'all didn't know, these things are articulated. Alright, let's start with Carrey Robotnik. The painting and sculpting on this figure looks absolutely groovy, baby. Wait, that's freaking Mike Myers, dude. The face is absolutely jaw-dropping. They captured his likeness so well. The goggles are flawless, the stash is magnificent with the two tones of paint, and just look at his hyper-realistic noggin and ears. The pattern on his jacket came out pretty well, except for this. They also painted the joints on this guy, even on his ankles. I'm not entirely sure about the longevity with this, but it's very much appreciated. The engineering on the Doctor goes so hard, with Jakks integrating some of their Apex tech, so the articulation here is godlike. We've got a swivel in the head. Unfortunately, it's kind of restricted by his collar. There's a peg and hinge in the shoulders that can rotate and move up and down. Then not only do we have an elbow joint, we have freaking two of them. And the range is incredible. Just one joint can go well past 90 degrees. I guess it can look kinda ugly the way his elbows break apart, but it's still a really good joint. And for some reason, there's no articulation in the wrists at all. Massive L, Jakks, come on. Going down on Eggman here, his hips are on basic little ball joints, limited range due to his coat though. He has a damn thigh swivel? What? Double jointed knees, they're decent, but the coattails get in the way again. Lastly, we just have ankle hinges. Overall, the articulation is phenomenal, and Carrey holds a pose really well, and he's pretty much perfect, and thankfully his accessories are a 50-50 to be honest. His little egg drone, or whatever the hell this is called, is kinda lame. It's just a little chunk of cheap gray plastic. The main gimmick with this thing is that you can pull these little panels out, which is where the painted details are at. It looks nice, I suppose, but I really think that it should have at least had some red paint on the front. The details are sculpted on, just unpainted. The biggest issue I have though is there's no freaking peg hole anywhere, nor does it even come with a display stand. So there's no way to display it. Robotnik can't even hold it properly, so all you can really do is just have it lay around. This sucks. But the true star of the show is none other than Robotnik's latte with steamed Austrian goat milk. Now this is an incredible accessory, and it's the only semblance of the goat Agent Stone in this line. It fits perfectly in his hands, but Carrey can't drink it because his stupid wrists don't move. We were so close, man. I also love the fact that it's just a solid universal accessory that works with all kinds of different action figures. So here's Tails from Sonic and Tails R. The painting and sculpting on this figure is pretty solid. The intricate and detailed fur sculpt looks real nice, and the paint was excellently applied all throughout. Just look at this boy's face, he's so happy. There's just one teeny tiny mishap on his shoulder. Hope this isn't a pattern. His tails came out great, it's just a bit bag heavy, but they balance well. The tails also kinda look like a butt. Check out Tails' kicks, they still keep that classic color scheme while including more realistic details like the unpainted shoelaces and the lines on his socks. There is one thing that is concerning me, which are the joints. They're just so scarily small and thin and feel very delicate and brittle, but they seem to move just fine and fluidly. His left leg is kinda loose. It's not that big a deal since Tails has his tails for stability. While on the topic of joints, the head can swivel, universal joints in the shoulders, single jointed elbow goes up to about 90 degrees and can swivel. The legs have the exact same points of articulation. For Tails' accessory, holy shit, he has a gun. Now, he actually has this in the movie, so it's not far-fetched at all, but it's quite humorous and it looks pretty good. I think it's casted in gray plastic and everything else is paint. The handle has minimal slop and the copper paint used for the barrel is epic. I really dig it. Normal Tails can also use the gun, of course. The paint quality isn't too bad, but I have seen paint rub issues. I can sort of make it out on my figure, but it seems fine. Not nearly as bad as Amy's hammers at least. I'd still recommend being cautious though. Knock knock, it's Knuckles. In the painting and sculpting on this figure, there's a fucking glob of glue on his eye. Why do you hate me, Knuckles? Okay, so besides that, everything else is pretty good. I'm amazed by the jaw-dropping technique used for the moon on his chest. That's what it is, right? The paint came out perfectly, and the wash helps make the fur sculpt popped and executes the beautiful transition from white fur to red. His Lego shoes are super sexy with those paint apps. Love the mix of colors, and the treads were sculpted very well. He's pretty fun to pose for the most part, and he looks good, but unfortunately my Knuckles got the short end of the stick when it comes to his construction. So the left side of Knuckles is pretty much perfect with nice solid joints. Then we move over to the right side, his right by the way, and his arm just really isn't all that secure and it'll just pop out after moving it. Sure, I can just pop it back in and it doesn't exactly just fall out, but it's still pretty annoying when I'm in the middle of posing. His right leg is also far looser. It's as if they were taking this time, putting this side together, then realized they have to make 40 of these in the next minute and just slap the rest together and quickly moved on. Knuckles' accessory is none other than a gray slab of plastic. Well, it's actually called a Snow Rider, whatever that means. It's decent looking, you know, it has some pegs, clean paint apps, and I like the sculpted panels, it just needs some panel lighting.
Gotta go fast.
The painting and sculpting on Movie Sonic here is exponentially fantastic. I actually really like Movie Sonic's design, not that one. The first sculpting looks just as good as the others. His torso is actually kinda yuck gross. He has this stupid teardrop on his belly, and whether it's intentional or not, it's inaccurate and mega cringe. The main attraction for this guy is his posability. He's just so much fun and looks amazing. His smaller quills are extremely beneficial for his balance, although his quills could be longer in my opinion, but I'm not gonna get into that. For those wondering, you can swap the shoes. Modern Sonic's clothes iron shoes are pretty loose on Movie Sonic's tiny balls, so the Pumas are really tight for Modern Sonic's larger balls. But with excessive force and twisting you can get them on, but holy crap, it's tough. But hey, it's possible and they look interesting. Movie Sonic just has the same accessory as Knuckles. Overall, I think this wave of movie figures are pretty great. They look good and pose like a dream. It's crazy how much of a difference Elbows makes. And I definitely was not expecting to enjoy Jim Carrey as much as I did. The engineering is just that incredible. If you can only pick up one figure, I'd go for a Movie Sonic. He's easily my favorite. There has been cases of the elbows snapping due to how thin they are, so if you feel any resistance when moving his arms, be extremely careful and dunk him in hot water or use a hairdryer. These two accessories are so damn good. The coffee looks amazing and Tails with the gun is hilarious. These toys have had a solid rollout but are kinda dwindling now. Sonic is thankfully pretty common, as he should be. The others are definitely more random. In my experience, I say plenty of Robotnik, but Tails and Knuckles are non-existent. Besides the ones I found, of course. In case y'all didn't know, Macy's has toys now, so I definitely recommend checking them out if you have access to them. From what I've seen, they have a bunch of these figures. So that was it for my review of the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 4-inch movie figures by Jakks Pacific. And what are your thoughts on these figures? I'd love to know. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye. Thanks for watching.